Hi, and welcome to Donna's Kitchen. Here today, I am so excited to be with you. I am going to be making a honey garlic salmon. It's roasted salmon. It's so delicious with a quinoa salad. It's Mediterranean style, so you're gonna have feta cheese and a bunch of yummy, delicious things in there. I hope you enjoy. So first, I'm going to go with the quinoa salad. So here you can see I already rinsed the quinoa. And I am going to pour the 2 cups of water in there. So 1 cup of quinoa to 2 cups of water. Okay, so I have to start with that to get it going. And I'm gonna you can put bouillon paste. I like to do the cubes. So I'm gonna just to give it a little bit of flavor, I'm just gonna pinch a half of bouillon cube in there. Sometimes I don't put anything, but as you know, when you cook quinoa, there's no flavor, right? So there you go. So I'm gonna add that in there. I'll go over here and borrow this from my butter and give it a stir, like so. You really don't need a lot of things in there, and you just let that steam. So I'm gonna start with that first because of timing. And then we're gonna go right ahead over to our salmon. And now with this salmon, I chose the wild caught salmon. It is soaking. So we'll just do that. Let's just get it separated. We're just gonna put it on the board, just so you get a better picture of what it looks like. Okay. So here, I'm gonna just dump this under here. And then, so I like to cut them. You can, however you wanna cut your salmon. I like to, when I do salads, I like to do it on a smaller scale, just like slice it in. And I'll cut this again. All right, here, I'm gonna do this. So we'll just slice it up. Look how pink that is. Talk about wild caught salmon. Okay, so I'm gonna just lay these pieces in the bowl. Doesn't have to be perfect because trust me, I'm gonna put the garlic butter and it's gonna be covered, really. All right. So I'll just leave them like that. So rinse my hands. Okay, so there we have that. I'll just move this to the side since I'm not gonna make that right now. And then we have our delicious butter, melted butter with crushed garlic is in here in this mixture. So you really don't need a lot of seasoning on your salmon. It depends on how you like it, but when I make it this way, it always comes out delicious. So I'm gonna squeeze some honey in there. Don't ask me how much, because as sweet as you like it, okay? I'm just gonna mix it around. There you have it. In the meantime, you can tell the quinoa is still, it's so weird looking at the quinoa cooking in the glass pot, right? It's so weird. It freaks me out the first time I use the glass pot. Because you can see the rice or anything you're cooking, you can just see it transforming right before your eyes. But I just love it. So while that goes, so I sprinkle here some herb spices. And when I say spices, it's just seasoning. It's not spicy at all. It has salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, a lot of that stuff in there. And I just want the honey to incorporate it in the butter and garlic mixture. All right. And now you can brush it on if you like. this is what it looks like. Or you can just baste it like what I'm doing right now. So I'm just basting it in the salmon. Just spread it all around like that. Just cover it all over. Smells amazing in here. So good. All right. So there we have it. Look how delicious that looks already. And it's not even roasted yet. It's not cooked yet. Okay, so we'll clear this up. Rinse my hands. That's the thing, I'm always washing my hands. Always. All right, so now we're gonna put the salmon in the oven, just like this, all right? So just open it up. I like the salmon on the more tender side. It doesn't matter if you're busy doing something else, just don't forget that it's in there, okay? Because you don't want burnt salmon. All right, so over here we are going to start with our salad. So now the salmon, I put it in the oven for maybe 425 or something like that, or you can broil it for 5 minutes and then just bake it just to get that nice tender for another 3 minutes. It really doesn't need to. It doesn't need a long time. All right, so now we're gonna cut our onions. Hopefully I don't cry. Hopefully I don't cry from this. I am going to start with the onion at the bottom and then the kale, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So we're just gonna slice this as thin as you can, or if you really love onion, like my husband, you can make it on the thicker side. I like the purple onions, but I don't like, and this quinoa is boiling like crazy, so I'm gonna turn it down a little bit, maybe to around 6 for now. That is so cool, look at that. It's pretty awesome, right? All right, so here we have our salmon. This is my salad bowl, favorite salad bowl. I'm gonna just dump the onions in the bowl first. Why I'm doing this and then add the kale is because with the kale it's not like, the onion first of all is very strong. Some people soak the onion in water first, chop them up and soak them in water first before they put it in the salad, because onion, as you know, is really, really strong. And so with the onion, you put it in water, and that takes out some of the tartness out of it, is what I call it. And then with the kale is not easy to break down like a regular salad. When you put the dressing on the salad, the lettuce leaves, they get soggy. Kale, when you're gonna make kale salad, you really have to like massage it with the olive oil, salt and pepper and stuff, and let it sit for a while before you go ahead and add it to your salad. So in this case, I'm using the kale first because I want to put the dressing in and let it sit before I add all the other things in there. So here we have some organic kale, all washed and dried, and I kind of like took the stems out of it. So I'm just gonna fold and chop away. You know what, I'm gonna clean my big knife because I wanna use that bigger knife, actually. So as the quinoa is cooking, you can tell that it's breaking down from the bottom up. I should have stirred it a little bit more, but it's okay. It will work. So now I'm chopping the kale. I want it to be really small because kale it can be really stringy. And especially if you're out and about, you don't want long strings of kale popping out of your mouth. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna do a bunch of kale in there first. chop them up. Making a little bit of a mess. All right. Kale, I don't know if you know this, but kale has so many, I should say, different nutrients. It has calcium, more calcium than milk, more vitamins than red pepper, right? More protein than beef, when you think about it. This is a fact, actually. And a lot of times people don't like the taste of it, but sometimes the things that don't really taste that good are the things that are really good for you, good for your health. So when you're making your smoothies and stuff, put a stalk of kale in there, okay? Because it has a lot of health benefits. Now I'm gonna dump this in my onion. There you go, you can see that. So dump it in there. So now we have the salmon is going, quinoa is going. We have the onion, chopped purple onions and kale in here. And then I'm gonna add some pomegranate. There we have it. Okay, so I'm just gonna add the pomegranate in there. I'll just use this spoon as we go. So crunchy, just to give a little bit of crunch. And pomegranate is packed with antioxidants. So I'm just gonna use all of it actually. Why not? And the juice from there. And now for my dressing, I'm gonna add the dressing first before I do anything else, just so the kale will have time to break down. So here I have some olive oil that I poured out. I'm gonna add the olive oil. I have oregano, however you call it. Olive oil, oregano. I'm gonna have some rice vinegar. It doesn't matter what brand. So I'll just make that. Just pour a little bit on there. I'm gonna put a little bit of honey. So I'm gonna mix it like that. So I want you to really see it. Okay, that quinoa is getting really nice and tender. It's almost ready. Just want all the water to evaporate out of it. Give it that Swedish taste. All right. So there, we're just gonna mix it up a little bit. So here we have olive oil, we have the oregano. I'm gonna put some salt in there and pepper. So just grab that right now. I also want to squeeze some orange juice, and if you want, my pepper. Then I'm gonna add some, this is Celtic salt. This is what we use always. Just a pinch of Celtic salt or sea salt. It doesn't have to be Celtic salt, it can be sea salt. Now, I would like to add an orange. I'll take one from my pile here. I am going to just slice it and squeeze the juice in there. So I'll do a half of that. And you don't have to get fancy with it. Just don't squirt orange juice all over yourself. And this one is seedless, so don't worry about it. Okay. And as you know, as I'm doing other things, I'm still giving an extra eye on my quinoa because I wouldn't like my quinoa to be burnt. So I have to like keep watching. So you just shake it. So this has a touch of honey. If you like, you could put mustard in it, but for this salad, you really don't need the mustard. Just the orange juice, you can zest the orange as well, and that's your homemade dressing right there. Salt, pepper, oregano, orange zest, rice vinegar, and so good. Rice vinegar and olive oil. You really don't need a lot of stuff in there. Okay, so this dressing, I'm gonna just dump some on there for now, just so the kale can break down a little bit. I'll just another spoon, mix it in. smells so good, you guys. I wish you could smell this right now. It smells amazing. Look at that. So cooking doesn't have to be scary. I always tell people that cooking is an experiment. If you find a recipe that you think you might like, what you do is I'm gonna put that to the side while I do other things. If you find a recipe that you like, if you try it at first and you don't like it or you really love it, try to figure out something else that you can do with that same recipe, whether it's taking an ingredient out or adding something to it. Make it your own, like play around with it a little bit, right? So that's what cooking is about, right? I don't like measuring things, and I probably said this before, but it's not about measuring, it's about the taste, getting the flavor, right? And once you get that down, you're fine. These are some organic tomatoes on the vine, so I already washed them. So I just have to slice them and throw them in there, in the salad. So I just dump it in the bowl. Let me just put that in front so you can see more. Don't ask me why I use such a big bowl. It's okay, we're not fancy around here. So I'm just slicing these tomatoes on the bigger side. Okay, just put a couple more in there. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our corn and our black beans. Good job with that quinoa. So I'm gonna just give it a stir. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. Look at that. So good. All right, so while I'm adding things, as I told you before, the kale is breaking down. It's getting a little bit softer. And here I'm gonna add some corn. Now, you can roast your corn. You don't have to. You can use the canned corn. In the summer when we're outside grilling and stuff, I like to roast the corn because it gives that smoky flavor. Okay. Look how amazing that is. Look how amazing. I'm just so excited for the salad. Quinoa is looking good. Wow. So now you want all the water to evaporate out of there. And I have, I'm gonna stoop down for a second and grab something. So you want the water to evaporate out of the quinoa, just like you would with rice. I don't know if everyone has a rice cooker. I don't think everybody has a rice cooker in their kitchen. But I don't have a rice cooker, never had. I don't think I ever will have a rice cooker. So I always cook my rice like that. Judge the water. When it's brown rice and stuff, sometimes I measure. I'm just adding my black beans right now. Okay, so this is an easy salad that doesn't really need a lot of time. If you're someone like me who's really busy, always on the go, this is something, you probably have all these things in your pantry already, right? It's simple, it's summery and fun. Like look at the colors in there. You really don't need a lot of experience on how to make a salad, really. You just put a couple of things together and just, so what it boils down to is the dressing, how it comes together. Make the salad taste good. So add the rest of your black beans in there. I'll put this away over here. And then right now, you know, one thing I didn't add to my salmon was lemon, but you can always add it as, like, if you remember, in the middle. The first time I made salmon, I did not add lemons, and it came out fine. You just slice your lemon and squeeze it on it, and you'll be okay. All right, so I rinsed that. So now we have our avocado that we're gonna add at the end. we're gonna add the quinoa. As you can tell, the quinoa is evaporating. Look at that. All the water is going out of it. So I just want to stick the fork in now and just move it back and forth. So it feels like they're catching on to the bottom. So when that happens, I turn the stove down a little bit lower. Right? Just a little bit lower and stir it up a little bit. All right? So while that's going, still going, now I'm ready for my, maybe a little bit more dressing on the salad. It really doesn't need a lot. And then I have to try to see what it looks like. What it tastes like, I should say. To try to see what it tastes like before we go ahead and serve. So I think I got it all. I won't slice the avocado just yet because, as you know, avocados tend to get brown pretty quickly. I don't know why. I always wonder why that is. In my home country, it doesn't. It's a little different. I think it's a different species of avocado, maybe. I don't know. So we're waiting for a quinoa. And while we wait, we're gonna check on the salmon. We'll check on our salmon and see how it's going in there. Woo. So nice. Just give it a few more minutes. And then we're gonna add everything together. Okay. I love when I make salads and people like copy my recipes and tell me how nice, oh, this salad is so good. It makes me so happy. I love feeding people. So I'm gonna roll the lemon a little bit to get the juice. So when you slice it, so you can top it off. I just add some lemon to the salmon in there. But I like to also take the seeds out of the lemon before I place it on any kind of fish. Just take the seeds out, just like that. It smells so good. It smells like lemonade. I miss that. I miss that in Jamaica. We always run to the tree, the lemon tree or the lime tree, mostly lime. We go to the lime tree and get the limes fresh off the tree and make lemonade. I miss that. I can still do it, but I just don't. It's a lot of time consuming, I would say. Very time consuming. All right, so I think I'm gonna stop that. It's the right texture. I don't need it to be any drier than that. And that looks really, really good. It still freaks me out when I look at the size of the pot and see like and see the food cooking like that. It's like, what? It blows my mind. I don't think I can ever get used to that. But anyhow, we're gonna get our salmon out now. Ooh, it looks so good. Oh, if you could ever smell it in here. I'm like a crazy person. I'm gonna go get my salmon out without my mitts, my oven mitts. I'm gonna burn myself. I'll be screaming really loud. I always burn myself anyway, so. All right. Oh, look at this. Oh my goodness. Look how good that looks. So good and smells so amazing. And it's not fishy at all. Like, looks really, really, really good. So I need to try that salmon, that quinoa, that salad actually, before I add the quinoa. So I'm just gonna try a little bit of it in there. Oh my gosh. So good. The flavor of the onion and the corn and black beans. Oh my gosh. So delicious. All right, so here we have This is without the quinoa. And then I'm gonna add the quinoa in it now, okay? Where we have a flying lemon. I need this for my avocado. So this salad, you can serve it hot or cold. It doesn't really matter. Hot in the sense of the quinoa is still warm. It really doesn't matter however you like it. Room temp, straight out of the refrigerator, dump everything in there. Cold quinoa, it will still taste good. And you don't want it to be too salty either. Like, please use less salt when you cook. Please try to, okay? Try to. And if you are, Celtic salt is actually has more minerals than pink Himalayan sea salt and regular sea salt. So here I'm gonna just add a big dollop of quinoa in there and stir it in. Now the flavor of the bouillon, whatever you put in your quinoa, when it goes in the salad, it will also flavor the beans and all the things that are in there already. So that's actually pretty cool. So this is like Mediterranean style. So you just stir it all up. And everything else is cold in there, so they will cool the quinoa down. I'm about to like plate it. So look, just stir it up. And then we're gonna plate it like this. Whew. See, you just have to add your quinoa to it. It's not crazy. It's very easy. And you don't need a lot of quinoa. If you want a lot of quinoa in there, oops, I made a big mess. You can, but seriousness, it's really delicious however you decide to do it. And then I'm gonna add my, let's move this over here for now. A salmon. You can just add whichever piece. If you want a small piece, however you want to cut it, it doesn't matter. You don't have to get too fancy with it. Okay. Not fancy at all. It looks really, really good. Like, look how delicious that is. Look at that. Looks so good. So amazing. Now we can add our avocado on there as well. So I'm gonna just slice a piece of avocado and put it on. Don't judge me how oops, I almost lose my avocado. Okay, so you just slice it. Very, very easy. And just add it to the side like that. Okay. And there you have it. How delicious. Like, look at that. Really, really nice. All right, thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you enjoy.